So if I had to start over again as a non-US resident getting access to $250,000 in US based credit cards, how would I do it? And so this was my situation a few years back, and now this is my current situation with any kind of card that I do personally want, but most especially I have about $250,000 in US credit as a Canadian. And so you might ask, wait, non-citizens can get access to American credit cards? Yes, you can. And that is exactly how you're going to take advantage of the American revival. As you see, Trump and the America in itself is on the uprising, and you're feeling shitty because you can't take advantage of that whole thing. So, we're going to talk about exactly why US business credit cards are the best thing to have and the steps you're going to need to take. So, essentially, why are US business credit cards the thing that you need, which will actually take your business further and which will unlock the financial independence along with the traveling that you want to have? Number one, it's that there are higher sign up bonuses. So typically, when you open up a card, you get access to a set amount of Amex points or whatever kind of sign up bonus. Typically, in America, you get a 2 to 3 times higher sign up bonuses than other nations. And then you also do get lower interest rates. So this is one of the few nations that actually allows 0% interest APR intro credit cards. So say for example, you've got the Amex Platinum over here. I pretty much have this capital at 0% for the next 12 months because I have a 0% intro APR card. And that gives me access to capital, cheap capital at no interest with my business. And so this is extremely beneficial if you're trying to start up a new business, you're trying to run ads, you're trying to run anything, or you're trying to spend money on your business. It is much easier when you've got 0% interest APR. And you might be like, wait, is this actually real? Like, is 0% actually a real thing? Dude, just search it up and see that the banks are actually offering these services. It's just that you don't have access to that American credit system. And we're going to talk exactly about that. Another thing is that you'll get better rewards. So, this is exactly how I was able to get business class for the first time traveling from Warsaw, Poland down to Toronto for pretty much a quarter of the price than people were paying on economy. And I was traveling in business class. And so you'll get free hotel upgrades, flight upgrades, lounge access, and pretty much I'm spending 90 to 80% less on hotels, on flights, just because I have access to these credit cards. Now, in further YouTube videos, I'll talk exactly how I do that personally, how I'm able to travel the world pretty much at a fraction of the price. We'll talk about that later, but this is about getting access to those US credit cards. So then you get access to more capital. So the average American actually has, on average, access to $36,351 versus the average person in the UK has access to $4,200. And this is in dollars. So typically, the average American has access to 8 to 10 times more capital than the average person in a first quote unquote first world country like Canada, in Europe, even in Australia, in Asia, some places of Asia. Of course, if you're in third world countries, then it's much less. But typically, America sets itself apart so much from those other first world countries. Then you, of course, you get access to hundreds of thousands of dollars on a credit card, literally. If I had Canadian credit, I would not have been able to get access to hundreds of thousands of dollars at my age because the credit systems in the USA is completely different. They do not care about your age. They don't care about your income to some extent. They don't care about all of these things because they have such a strong monetary policy. And on top of that, they also have one thing called the reserve dollar of the world. The reason why American can do this is because they have the USD, which is the strongest reserve dollar of the world. And then you get to pay no taxes as a non-citizen. So inside of the tax code of the USA, if you have an LLC as a non-citizen, non-resident, you do not need to pay taxes. Right. And so this is not the kind of tax YouTube channel that you'll find. This YouTube channel is going to teach you how to get access to business credit cards. But as a bonus to everything, if you run your business with a US LLC from the USA, you will pay no taxes, which is a crazy thing to say. You have access to American resources, access to the best credit cards, access to the best payment processors, but you're paying no taxes, which is crazy, right? So you're at an advantage not living in the USA, but taking advantage of those actual perks. So, who should get access to US business credit cards? I'm not here to tell everyone across the world that they need to get access to US business credit cards or US credit cards. If you don't have a business, you don't need to get US credit cards. You need to figure out what you're doing with your life. If you already figured that out, if you're a non citizen business owner and if you spend over 4 figures a month on your business expenses and you travel a lot, again, there's more advantages if you do travel. You'll be able to get free upgrades, free lounge access, things of that sort. If you spend 4 figures a month, you technically are losing money by not having access to these actual credit cards. Very, very importantly, you understand that you are literally losing money by not having these US credit cards. And you don't even need to take my word for it. You can literally go on the Amex websites. You can go and check their APR terms. You can go and check the amount of capital they give you access to, and you'll see that this is all true. So, how can you access credit, business credit in the USA as a non-citizen? I'm going to show you how you can take advantage of the American revival and get access to those US business credit cards as a non citizen. So here's the first step. Number one, you need to create the right kind of corporate structure because most of you guys might not want to be paying taxes. You might have a company in Dubai, you might have a place that's already created in a tax haven, or maybe in your own country. You're already paying your taxes, things are already set up. So, how are you going to create your corporate structure inside of America? Number one, this company could be what you call a bypass company. Basically, you collect payments on this US LLC and it bypasses money straight into your original LLC or your other corp inside of your other country. And you can pay no taxes on that. Again, there are different small little disclosures that I can add. And again, this is not tax advice. This is not advice from a CPA. This is what I know from the clients that we've worked with, the different actions that we've done in the past that led people to pay no taxes, but also get access to hundreds of thousands of dollars in capital. And another thing is you then need to get your ITIN. So after you've created your corporate structure, then it's about getting your ITIN. An ITIN is basically what we call a international tax identification number. So once you get that number, that is pretty much what you call, it's basically the equivalent of your SSN. If you were to live in the USA, you would have your social security number. If you're a non-citizen, non-resident of the USA, if you want to get this, it is what you call a ITIN. And that ITIN is what you're going to use in all of your bank applications, in your credit card applications. Once you get that, which is going to take you typically about 60 days, then it's about opening up one, a business bank account, and then two, a personal bank account. And you're, in some instances, you can actually go to the US, open up those bank accounts. You can also do that completely remotely. It's going to take time, this whole process again, but it is worth it in the end because you then get access to these great credit cards. Again, I'm a Canadian. I got access to these credit cards. I'm not like an old guy. I did this within less than 6 months. And then what you want to do is you want to build credit. So build credit inside of America so you can eventually then get access to those high top tier credit cards. And there are ways that you can actually transfer your relationships with, for example, Amex UK to Amex USA, or in whatever kind of country you're in, transfer that credit score you've got to the USA so you can shorten that time span to build credit. Then step 5 is actually make your applications on behalf of your business and acquire about $250,000 in US capital at 0% interest. That is exactly how you will take advantage of the American revival. This is going to be a short video. I'm pretty much going to end it right here. But if you do want a more in-depth guide on how you can do these with all of the steps, I can talk about it. We already provide these services on behalf of our clients. I've been doing this for quite a while. If you guys don't know anything about myself, I can link down my Instagram down below. And so if you want to hear about how you can get access and take advantage of the American system, you can leave a like and I'll drop some more videos. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.